I'm back with more Pilates. This is great for opening up your upper back, shoulders, and stabilizers. Also helps for transverse abdominal work. This is great for coming back from a pregnancy, prenatal, or really just any hip stabilization issues, upper back tightness, stiffness. Enjoy. You're gonna come onto your roller, sit right at the bottom, and then lie yourself down. Rock side to side a few times so that you make sure that your back is somewhat straight on the roller itself. From here, starting with some upper back mobility work. Big reach up and around. Keep a little connection into the ribs to maintain that heavy back, that neutral spine. So you're not gonna pop up like so. You wanna maintain that heavy upper back so the bra strap is heavy. It's okay to have pockets here and here under the lower back. If you notice, I do have space. It's where the back is convex that you wanna make sure you're connected. And of course, with any circle, reversing is necessary. So both directions for the circles. The closer your feet are towards your butt, you can start to feel the hips gripping a little bit, so you can always just kind of walk them away. The closer your feet are together, makes it harder to balance. So if you are having trouble balancing, simply separate the legs a little bit. You can also put a ball or something in between your inner thighs, like a pillow, anything you happen to have at home. The next step is going to be for transverse abdominis activation. That's basically a fancy word for saying the corset, deepest abdominal muscles. Arms by your sides, scoot through the belly, and exhale, lift one leg to tabletop. Alternating sides, using your stomach to keep your hips stable. If you want to get a little bit more challenging, you can float the hands off the mat. Make sure you use your breath. As I try to talk in cue, it's a lot harder. You can always tent the fingertips also if you're having that balance problem. Now I notice on my right side it's harder to create that stability, so I'll do a couple times, focusing on that control. Looks easy, but it's not. Make sure you're using that exhale breath. When you exhale, it's important that you're pulling your stomach in and up, stabilizing through the spine. So if you take your hands onto your pelvis, the breath is ha, and you should literally feel as if your belly is pulling under your rib cage. Now if you're like, okay, I got this, I can do it. Hands off the floor, hands up to the ceiling, marching, feet zip together, make it harder. Exhale, stretch a leg. Whoa. And switch. Keep those thighs hugging together. Maintain that connection. If you tend to feel this gripping in the hip, by all means, go back to the marching the traditional way, like so. From here, a little ulnar nerve stretch. Float those hands up. Make a prayer with your fingers. Open the heels of your hands. And exhale, stretch fingertips to the mat. Gently rock. Now this gets weird, but it works so well. This hand is going to point up. The other hand is going to point down. So one is up, one is down. You pick, doesn't matter. Gently rock side to side. Let the weight of the hands be heavy on the floor or on the mat. And switch. And this just radiates. It's almost like nerve flossing, if you've heard that term. But it feels so good. Another thing you can do if you're starting to feel tightness in the shoulders is as you lift, rotate from the upper arm. Make sure it's not just the hands that are rotating front and back, but you're rotating actually from the shoulder and from the armpit. And you'll get to go even further than maybe you went before when we just did our regular circles. Rotating that upper arm back and forth. You can do this at 45 degrees. So instead of going straight up, now it's the I's, Y's, and T's. You might have heard that terminology. The nice thing here is you can give me that full range of motion. You can go all the way overhead with the arms. Again, making sure you're rotating from the upper arm, internal and external rotation. And then into your T. Opening out wide And again, you can go all the way up. Try to keep the shoulder in the socket. So you're almost massaging the joint with the rotation of the humerus head. That's just another fancy name for the bone that is in the upper part of your arm. The joint is a ball and socket joint in your shoulder, just like your hip. So getting that mobility and keeping it in the girdle is what's really important. You can continue doing that rotations through the upper arm as you go into circles. All the way up overhead, stretching through the fingertips as you reach it all the way back around. And then reversing. Remember, if you're struggling too much and your body is tensing because you're like, I can barely bring my knees together, that's fine. You separate them to here. Now you can relax into the shoulders. Another issue I see is, where are my shoulders in space? How do I find that connection? Float the arms up. The shoulders move a couple different ways. Protract means reach forward, shrinking the chest. Retract, reach the shoulders back, hugging them into the roller, shrinking the back. Think about creating equal space between the front and the back of the body, where you're not totally forward and you're not totally back. But this movement on its own does feel awesome, especially over the roller. It helps open up the chest, open up the shoulders, and really helps massage that joint. In retraction, you can add that ulnar nerve stretch, so opening up the heels of the hand, rocking side to side. Pausing, letting your body kind of drape over the roller. It doesn't have to be perfect here. The nice thing about the roller is it's myofascial release, so even here you're getting a good stretch. Now I said the shoulder moves in 4 ways. The other 2 directions are elevation and depression. This is the only time it is totally cool to be depressed. So you want to elevate, 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 and then reach, 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 reach. Find that reach. Curl up the head, neck, and shoulders if it's available to you. Keep reaching, gently pressing the hands into the mat. Float one leg up, and you can repeat that marching. You may notice it's actually easier to balance curled up. You can do both types if that's easy. You can stretch, scooping through the belly. This one actually activates that psoas a little bit. It's similar to the hip release we did last week with the foam roller horizontal. Again, you can find all of these on my station on YouTube. Just YouTube search my name, Michelle Tash. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and lower the head down. From here, exhale 1 knee at a time into tabletop. Zip it together and focus on just simply balancing. And lower them down 1 at a time. Now this looks like it's the same exercise, but it's not. Float the other leg up first, then float that same leg up. And notice how it might feel easier, it might feel harder. Maybe your body is perfect and you don't notice a difference. Try it. I always do a couple each side so you can really focus on what side worked and which side might not have. And lower it down. Gently rock side to side. We'll do more advanced work next time. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.